everybody, and welcome to the WrestleDude YouTube channel. As here today, we're going to talk more about WWE 2K Battlegrounds. So, here today, I want to talk to you about some very interesting ideas that I've had for 2K Battlegrounds in the form of, so in this little teaser that we've already seen at least 2 locations where this game is going to be set arena-wise. We've seen like this bayou dock area with the alligators and stuff like that, and then we saw like the abandoned subway area. I kind of got my mind rolling at what other places we could have matches in, what other weird, crazy arenas we could see our WWE superstars having these insane matchups in. So I came up with this list, and this is going to be my 10 crazy ideas for like WWE 2K Battleground arenas. Now obviously, aside from these crazy arenas, I can probably predict that we're going to get the usual Raw, SmackDown, NXT, WrestleMania arenas. Probably, those ones are probably a lock. But I'm also thinking of like 10 crazy ones, so I want to get into them here. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. Leave a thumbs up if by the end of this video you enjoyed all of my ideas that I pitched, but I also want you to comment some of your ideas that you would like to see, or if you agree with any of mine, leave a comment for the ones that you also agree with. Also, quick little thing, if you want to support the channel, I kind of do this thing without having ads on. That might change soon, but if you do want to support the channel and get something for yourself, I do have a Teesprings account where I sell a whole lot of t-shirts and cool stuff like that. I'm always coming up with brand new ideas for designs and stuff like that, so if you want to support the channel, the link for that will be in the description. But with that out of the way, let's get into this, where I'm going to talk about number 10, my 10 ideas for WWE 2K Battlegrounds arenas. Number 10 is going to be a prison / asylum. So basically my idea for this came about was there was a few details that came out that I covered in a previous video. I'll link that at the end of this, so if you stay tuned to the end of this video, that one will probably pop up. But it talked about some details for the game, talking about specific moments in the game that they were warning parents about. One of those was an electrified cage, which makes me think that's going to be their take on the steel cage matchup. But one idea that I thought that would spin off of this for this arena would be, where would you normally see an electrified cage? And the first thought that came to my mind was a prison. Obviously, in like prison courtyards, they have like the electrified fences with like the barbed wire and stuff like that on it. I feel like that could be a very cool setting. This kind of makes a little bit more sense if Dean Ambrose was still signed with the company, because then they could call it the Ambrose Asylum, but I'm guessing they could probably just call it the Asylum or something like that. But you know, a prison would be a very cool place to fight in. Think about it, like you could have a lot of cool dynamics. You know, you got like the ball and chain that usually gets tied around the person's waist when they're in prison. Imagine lifting one of those up, swinging it around, and then tossing it to your opponent or stuff like that. Or maybe like a brick has fallen off the wall inside the prison or stuff like that. You can pick up the brick, throw it like a weapon. That kind of stuff I feel like can be cool, and it would make a lot of sense for the setting of a steel cage match where the steel cage has been electrified. I just feel like that would make a very cool location for that match type, and would be a cool location in general. Okay, my next up, number 9, is going to be a bar / dance club. Now, we've kind of seen something like this in WWE 2K20 with their Southpaw DLC, that they had this weird like arcade / dance club area. But I feel like that would be a very cool setting for, like, obviously we've seen independent wrestling shows that take place at bars and stuff like that, and we all know the ideas of bar fights and stuff like that. Heck, WWE had their own version of like a bar fight with JBL and Ron Simmons and the Easter Bunny. Yes, I'm not kidding, the Easter Bunny. But I feel like it would be a very cool location for a fight, or for Battlegrounds arena. I just feel like that's a very cool one to have in there. You could have like a dance pad or like a dancing area where like you guys brawl into the dancing area, stuff like that. You could have like a stage with equipment and instruments set up where you can like go up there, grab a guitar, smash it over somebody's back. I just feel like that would be another cool place to fight in, would be a bar or a dance club. Alright, this next one's probably going to be a very popular one, so definitely at this moment keep your little cursor or your thumb right over the thumbs up button. I'm going to mention this one now. 3, 2, 1, the Boneyard Match. Yes, the Boneyard Match from WrestleMania this past year was a very weird, interesting take on a matchup that was very specific for The Undertaker, and I feel like would make a very cool setting. Again, in WWE 2K20, we saw something very similar, where we had this whole graveyard area where we could fight in for brawls, but I feel like you could also add in an arena to that and make it a whole shebang of a very cool area. You could add the hearse, you could add the pile of dirt with the grave in it, you could add the little cabin or whatever that they climbed up on top of and The Undertaker tossed AJ Styles off. You could have all of that and make it its own arena here in WWE 2K Battlegrounds, because that was a crazy matchup. That was a really weird, crazy matchup, and it makes sense to have it in such a crazy / weird game like WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Alright, my next one is going to be another one that I kind of came up with in that previous video where I talked about the other 2K Battlegrounds details. This one is a bank / bank vault. So this also calls back, like I said, to those details where it mentioned that an action during the game involved superstars grabbing bags of cash. That makes me think that that's going to be their take on the Money in the Bank ladder match. And if you're going to do a Money in the Bank ladder match where you're grabbing bags of cash, literal bags of cash, the only place that I can think that that makes sense is in a bank or a bank vault, which sounds very, very cool, especially with the idea of if they're fighting in a bank vault, I could see, you know, like how superstars maybe sometimes will like throw salt in the face of wrestlers. Obviously there was that time at WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Yokozuna, you know the story, where he throws salt in the eyes. Imagine if the superstar reaches down, grabs a pile of coins, and tosses them at the opponent. That'd be very cool. Or like maybe the stage entrance is the door to the bank vault. You can Irish whip your opponent, toss him into the door kind of pops open and then pops closed. I feel like that would be very, very cool. Yeah, just another interesting location for a brawl, a bank or a bank vault. I'm sure there's a lot of crazy ideas that you can come up with this kind of stuff. I feel like this was just a really great idea and would be a really great setting for a Money in the Bank ladder match, to literally have it in a bank or in a bank vault. Okay, next one I'm kind of going to talk about a little bit quicker, just because it's kind of a plain one. I kind of want to get onto some of the more fun ones, but I felt like I would throw this one in here too, because it's kind of a likely probability. It's a backstage area or a parking lot area. This also kind of has a little bit of tidbits from those details that I talked about, where somewhere in the details they talked about falling cars, which made me think that it would have to do something with a parking lot or a garage or something like that. And if you're going to add in a parking lot, then it would be cool to have a backstage area as well, you know, the interview area, the basic stuff that we've seen in WWE 2K20 and some of the other 2K games. Kind of add that area in, connect it all together, and have them just fight all throughout the backstage area. It seems like a very fun one. Seems more than likely going to be in the game, but no confirmations yet, so everything's fair game. But I just felt like it would be a very fun one to see in 2K Battlegrounds. Alright, next one. On to the fun one. I have number 5. A hospital / local medical facility. Another fun location where we could fight with a lot of very strange weapons like gurneys and tossing your opponent into an ambulance, or using what's the little drip thing where it's like on wheels and has like a blood bath. The name escapes me right now, but weapons like that could be very fun. Maybe I don't know if they would have to talk about this in the details for their rating, but defibrillators. You grab the defibrillators, you rub them together, and you zap your opponent with them. I feel like that would be very, very fun to see here in 2K Battlegrounds. But yeah, hospital or local medical facility would be very cool. And hey, look at the bright side. Once the brawl is over and once you win, your opponent doesn't even have to go that far to get medical treatment. He's just got to go to one of the nearest rooms that hasn't been destroyed during your match. Alright, number 4. I want to see a pool / beach arena, and I feel like that would be a very cool idea for like a special SummerSlam arena. Obviously summer, you gotta do with the sun, obviously it's in the name, and it all has to do with the sunshine. You think on the beach, cool babes in the bikinis, going out there, hitting the surf and turf. This would be a very cool arena, and I have here in parentheses, this was kind of a match dynamic that I would like to see, we've seen Beach Ball-a-mania at WWE shows and stuff like that. What if they somehow incorporated that into this type of an arena where in the middle of the match, especially if it's a no disqualification match, but in the middle of a match, what if during the match the crowd is bouncing around a beach ball? And you can like call for the crowd to throw you the beach ball. You can grab the beach ball and then you can toss it at your opponent as a weapon from the crowd that you can get in this special arena. And then you can also have like surfboards. You can pick up a surfboard and break it over their back, or a lifeguard, a life preserver. You can like throw it around their head. It can get stuck around their arms. There's a little mini game where the person with it on them has to fight out of it, and you get a couple free shots in when they're stuck in it. I feel like those are some cool dynamics that could take place in this arena. But yeah, pool or a beach, that would be very cool. Or, you know, if you're close enough to the water of the beach, maybe you can throw them in and you can get bitten by a shark or another alligator, depending on where the beach is set. But yeah, just another cool, crazy location that I feel like would make sense for a game as crazy as this. Well, if you guys thought those ones weren't as crazy, we're about to get a heck of a lot crazier, because my number 3 is the Firefly Funhouse. Yes, I would love to see the Firefly Funhouse as an arena. Not like just a backdrop. I would like to see the backdrop of the Firefly Funhouse, but then coming out to an actual ring decorated the style that Bray Wyatt would. But this is another one that I had in parentheses with a good idea for it. What if the ring for this arena, what if the ring had special physics to it, and the ring is more of like a bouncy castle? It's like a bouncy ring, and the physics are like every time you jump or every time you strike, like obviously it seems like your opponents are going to be going pretty high on these bumps and stuff like that anyways, but imagine if the physics were turned up even more, and then you do like a top rope move, or you do like a spine buster, or you toss your opponent up into the air for a back body drop, and they fly up into the air, hit the mat, fly up again, and then hit the mat again. I feel like those would be some very fun physics. And obviously there are going to be some fun weapons involved here. You got to have the giant fiend mallet. That's got to be one. What else can I think of? You can have a bottle of Rantholin Rabbit's Bohemian Breakfast Spread. You can throw that at your opponent. Or even better, what if you throw it at your opponent's feet and they're stuck? They're stuck to the floor for a couple seconds and you get a couple free shots in. I feel like that's another fun mechanic. And hey, it would fit in if Bray Wyatt or The Fiend, I would assume they're going to be in the game. This would fit to have The Fiend and Bray Wyatt have their own arena. I don't know. I feel like that would be a very cool dynamic to have. Alright, this next one is one that we have already seen worked on WWE television, and it is WWE Headquarters. We just saw it recently at Money in the Bank. It's a cool location with a lot of great ideas. You could be fighting through the corporate offices and stuff like that. I don't know where the ring would come into play. I don't know. I feel like this would be just more of a brawling location. I don't know. I feel like they can make it work with a ring, or maybe, I don't know, you find some tape at one of the desks, you tape it around a couple poles, and the tape will be the ring ropes. I don't freaking know. But WWE Headquarters, like I said, we've seen it on TV recently. It will be a very cool location to fight in. Go into Vince's office, go into the whole different areas, grab the coffee maker, throw it, stuff like that. There's just so much weird stuff that you can make out of arenas like this and brawling locations like this. You know, fighting over desks, power bombing people through desks and stuff like that, tossing them into billboards and stuff like that. WWE Headquarters is just a location that I've wanted to see in a WWE video game for a long time, and if there's any big chance of it appearing in any game, it's gonna be something as crazy as WWE 2K Battlegrounds. And finally, this one is kind of one that you guys might roll your eyes at first, but hear me out. Number 1 is the WWE Performance Center. Now don't roll your eyes. I know that recently we've been having shows at the WWE Performance Center. We had WrestleMania at the WWE Performance Center. I'm not talking an empty arena WWE Performance Center for like Raw and SmackDown. I'm talking just a WWE Performance Center with a ring where like the apron and stuff says WWE Performance Center and stuff like that, with the ability to still go around to like the gymnasium areas and stuff like that, the weightlifting areas, kind of like how we saw Randy Orton and Edge fight throughout. Although I would say keep out the OMG moments where they, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the match. keep that out. But this would be a very cool location to fight in. There's a lot of crazy stuff that we could do in the WWE Performance Center. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa showed us that firsthand on NXT once. So definitely would be a cool idea to see it in 2K Battlegrounds. The ability to lift up weights and toss them at your opponent. The opponent moves out of the way. It breaks glass. You get fined a whole bunch of money. Vince McMahon takes your whole paycheck. You get fired. You go on the indies and then you retire. What am I talking about? WWE Performance Center. It's just another crazy location I would love to see in WWE 2K Battlegrounds. It's a weird place to fight. It's very unorthodox, but then again, this is a game where we're going to be fighting in abandoned subways and a dock with an alligator. So I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. Well, there you have it, you guys. Those are my 10 fantasy arenas for WWE 2K Battlegrounds. A lot of good ones, a lot of just out-of-the-box, crazy, random ones, but definitely a lot of good ideas and a lot of good mini ideas in there for each arena. But let me know in the comment section below what arena you would want to see in WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Were any of mine good? Leave a thumbs up on the video if you thought the video was good. That's all I got for you, but if you want to see more about me talking about WWE 2K Battlegrounds, just wait a second. Another video is about to pop up in just a second. But other than that, thank you for watching the WrestleDude YouTube channel.